Beloved friends, there is a divine order running through the universe. A perfect harmony that responds to the word we speak. I stand before you today to testify to the power of spoken words and the unseen laws that govern our lives. I was once like many of you, struggling, doubting, hoping, but not truly believing. Then I discovered a principle as old as time. The spoken word sets spiritual law in motion. It began as a whisper in my own heart, a quiet knowing that the life I desired was already mine in the invisible realm. Every day, I disciplined my speech to align with faith, not fear. I knew that what I declared with certainty and conviction had no choice but to manifest in form. I did not beg or plead. I affirmed. I declared. I claimed my good. Then came the 7 words, simple, radiant, and alive with power. When I spoke them aloud, I felt an electric shift. My mind was no longer in the valley of lack but lifted to the mountain of abundance. The words were not a plea but a decree. In speaking them, I aligned myself with the infinite supply that has always been waiting for each of us to claim. I watched my thoughts like a hawk. I refused to rehearse limitation or doubt. Instead, I repeated my 7 words with reverence and certainty, knowing that the substance of the unseen would congeal into the seen. This was not a gamble but a law. As surely as planting a seed brings a harvest, so do words spoken with faith bring their own harvest. The night before the lottery drawing, I felt no fear. I felt no striving. I felt only gratitude for the wealth that was already mine in the spiritual realm. I spoke the 7 words softly before sleep, believing that the infinite intelligence would find its own perfect channels to bless me. When morning came, I awoke to find the visible proof of my spoken word. A ticket worth $100 million. Friends, this was no accident. This was the result of aligning my mind and words with universal law. This was the result of releasing doubt, fear, and impatience and replacing them with a serene knowing. What you claim with conviction, you receive. What you affirm, you experience. Do not underestimate the words you speak. They are not empty sounds but living currents shaping your destiny. As you release words of faith, abundance, and victory, you call forth the very substance of your desire. You are not here to beg or struggle, you are here to command and receive. The power of spoken words to activate unseen universal laws of abundance is an ancient yet timeless principle that governs every aspect of our lives, whether we are aware of it or not. Every word we utter carries a vibration, a frequency, and a creative charge that moves into the invisible and molds the substance of our experience. When you begin to see words not as casual sounds, but as spiritual instruments, you start to recognize that nothing you speak is ever wasted. Words are seeds, and as surely as a farmer plants a seed into the ground and expects a harvest, so does the mind plant words into the universe and expect results. This is not mere poetry, it is a law of cause and effect, a law of vibration, a law of faith. When we speak words with conviction, faith, and clarity, we activate forces far beyond our human sight, forces that draw people, circumstances, and opportunities into alignment with our spoken declarations. Every great spiritual teacher has pointed to the creative power of speech. Words are the visible tip of your inner beliefs, and by refining them, you refine the blueprint of your reality. To understand the power of spoken words is to understand that every utterance is an instruction sent out to the universal intelligence. Just as a command to a computer triggers a response, so do our words command the energy of the unseen. When you say words of abundance, prosperity, health, and victory, you are sending signals that reverberate into the quantum field, arranging situations that will match your declarations. When you speak words of lack, limitation, or fear, you send out instructions for more of the same. Your words are the key that unlocks or closes the door to the wealth of the universe. They are the bridge between your inner world and your outer world. The spoken word does not merely describe your reality, it creates it. The universe does not differentiate between what you want and what you fear. It simply responds to the vibration of your words and feelings. That is why so many people live lives that reflect their unconscious speech. They say, "I'm broke. I can't. It's too hard." And the universe obediently brings them experiences that validate those words. But once you awaken to the power of speech, you begin to choose words deliberately, lovingly, and powerfully. You realize that your mouth is a sacred altar, and what you place upon it is offered to the universal mind, which always says yes. You stop indulging in idle talk of failure or struggle, because you know that each word is a command, a decree, a seed with inevitable fruit. In the realm of abundance, words become magnets. Every syllable charged with belief draws its own kind. Speaking abundance repeatedly with unwavering conviction creates a vibrational match between your inner and outer worlds. You begin to feel differently, to see differently, and your subconscious mind begins to expect prosperity. Once the subconscious mind expects prosperity, your entire energy shifts, and circumstances that seemed locked now begin to open. Opportunities appear where before there were none. People come to you who can help, guide, or bless you. Money begins to flow from expected and unexpected channels. It all begins with the spoken word because words reshape the subconscious, and the subconscious shapes your reality. The key to activating these unseen laws is not mechanical repetition but spiritual alignment. Simply saying words without feeling or conviction is like planting seeds without soil or water. But when you speak with belief, emotion, and expectancy, your words become living entities charged with creative power. Imagine your words as invisible servants rushing out to arrange the details of your life. They do not rest. They do not question. They simply fulfill the pattern you have given them. If you command abundance, they seek abundance. If you command struggle, they seek struggle. You are the master architect, and your words are the builders. This principle works not only for material wealth, but also for peace, love, health, and success in every area of life. The universe is not limited to one form of abundance. It contains infinite expressions of good, and your spoken word determines which of those expressions you allow into your experience. The words "I am" are especially powerful because whatever follows them becomes your self-concept and reality. When you say, "I am prosperous," you are not lying. You are affirming a truth from the invisible realm, which then begins to translate into the visible. When you say, "I am always struggling," you are also affirming, and the universe obliges. Consistency is crucial. One powerful affirmation spoken once is good, but repeated affirmations spoken daily with unwavering faith create momentum. Each time you speak words of abundance, you reinforce the neural pathways in your brain, impress the subconscious mind, and send signals into the universe. Over time, this builds an energetic field around you that attracts corresponding experiences like iron filings to a magnet. This is why people who practice deliberate speech often find their lives transforming in miraculous ways. It is not random luck but a predictable law in action. Another key to activating this unseen law is gratitude. Gratitude is the emotional cement that seals your spoken word into manifestation. When you speak words of abundance, and then give thanks as though it is already done, you align your vibration with the outcome you desire. This creates a loop of faith and fulfillment, drawing the unseen into the seen faster. Gratitude also shifts your focus away from lack and onto the abundance already present, which multiplies your good. The words, "Thank you," spoken sincerely are among the most powerful you can ever utter. Silence between your spoken words is equally important. Many people sabotage their affirmations by contradicting them with negative chatter throughout the day. They may affirm abundance in the morning, but spend the afternoon complaining about bills. This splits the energy and delays the manifestation. To truly activate the unseen laws of abundance, you must guard your tongue like a treasure chest. Only words of faith, victory, and plenty should escape your lips. This discipline may feel challenging at first, but over time it becomes natural. As your consciousness shifts, so will your vocabulary, and as your vocabulary shifts, so will your life. The spoken word is also magnified by visualization. When you combine words of abundance with vivid mental imagery of your desired outcome, you impress the subconscious mind more deeply. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It only responds to feeling. By seeing yourself already in possession of the good you desire and speaking words that affirm it, you create a powerful inner blueprint that the universe must express. This is why many people find that their affirmations suddenly come true after a period of consistent practice. They have built an inner world so rich and complete that the outer world has no choice but to match it. When you recognize the power of your spoken words, you also become aware of your inner dialogue. Even unspoken words create vibrations. Thoughts are silent words, and they too plant seeds in the universal soil. By disciplining both your thoughts and your speech, you become a conscious co-creator with the divine. You move from being a victim of circumstance to a master of circumstance. You begin to live intentionally rather than accidentally. Your life ceases to be a random collection of events and becomes a purposeful unfolding of your spoken declarations. There is also a mystical element to this practice. When you speak words of abundance, you align yourself with the archetype of the Creator, the divine presence that spoke worlds into existence. You are a microcosm of that power. Your words echo the creative, "Let there be," that brought galaxies into being. Each time you say, "I am abundant," "I am prosperous," or "I am wealthy," you are echoing the creative command that shapes reality. This is why the spoken word feels so powerful. It resonates with the deepest truth of your being as a creator. Finally, as you deepen in this practice, you will notice that it is not about getting something but about realizing something. Abundance is not outside you waiting to be fetched. It is within you, waiting to be spoken into expression. The 7 words you choose, the affirmations you repeat, and the declarations you make are not tricks to manipulate reality, but invitations to align with the reality that is already yours in the unseen. Once you understand this, the power of the spoken word becomes the most natural and joyous practice you can embrace, and the unseen laws of abundance respond with a precision and generosity that can transform your entire life, aligning thoughts and speech with unwavering faith instead of doubt or fear is the cornerstone of transforming invisible desires into visible realities. Thoughts are the silent architects of your life, while words are the builders that bring those plans into form. When your thoughts and speech are united in faith, you create a straight channel for the infinite to pour through. But when your mind wavers between belief and doubt, or your words contradict your inner vision, you create a split in your energy, delaying or even blocking the manifestation of your good. True alignment means that your inner world and your outer expressions sing the same song, both carrying the vibration of certainty and expectancy. This alignment does not happen by accident. It happens through conscious discipline of mind and speech. Your thoughts are the first level of creation. Every mental picture you hold is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious mind, which in turn directs your words and actions. If you allow doubt or fear to dominate your thoughts, your words will inevitably echo that negativity, and your life will reflect it. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a thought held in fear and a thought held in faith. It simply acts on the pattern impressed upon it. This is why it is essential to cultivate thoughts of success, abundance, health, and joy. When these thoughts are nurtured, your speech naturally follows, and your spoken words become powerful affirmations rather than idle chatter. By practicing mental discipline, you train your mind to think only on that which you desire, which makes your words charged with creative force. Speech is the outward declaration of your inner state. When you speak with faith, your words carry an energy that moves beyond the limits of your conscious mind. They become like arrows shot into the infinite, setting in motion forces far beyond your immediate understanding. To align your speech with unwavering faith, you must first cleanse it of habitual doubt. Many people unknowingly cancel their own blessings by saying words like, "I hope," "I wish," or "I'm trying." These words carry the vibration of uncertainty and place your desires in the future rather than in the now. Replacing such words with declarations of certainty, "I am," "It is," "I have," brings your speech into the present tense, which is the only place creation occurs. The universe responds to your now vibration, not your future wish vibration. To achieve this alignment, it is also necessary to master your emotions, because thoughts and speech without feeling are weak currents. Faith is not simply a thought, it is a feeling of assurance, an inner knowing that your good is already yours. When you infuse your words with this feeling, they become living forces that the unseen responds to. Fear, on the other hand, is a powerful creative energy in the opposite direction. Fearful thoughts and speech act like affirmations for the very outcomes you wish to avoid. By learning to observe your inner state and shift it from fear to faith, you purify the creative power of your words and bring yourself into harmony with universal law. This practice also involves self-awareness of your inner dialogue. The thoughts you repeat to yourself throughout the day are silent words, and they influence your vibration just as much as spoken words. If your inner self-talk is filled with doubt or self-criticism, no amount of positive speech will have its full effect, because you are undermining it internally. That is why aligning thoughts with speech is crucial. You must train both levels, the silent and the spoken, to carry the same energy of faith and expectancy. When your inner talk is supportive, uplifting, and affirmative, your spoken words gain power and integrity. Integrity of energy between thought and speech is what makes manifestation swift, and certain visualization is a powerful ally in this process. By holding clear, vivid mental images of your desired outcome, and pairing them with words of faith, you impress the subconscious mind more deeply. The subconscious acts upon images and feelings, and when those images are accompanied by strong, affirmative speech, they sink in even faster. This combined practice rewires your internal expectations, making faith your natural state rather than something you have to force. Over time, as your thoughts and speech remain aligned, your reality begins to reshape itself to match the new blueprint you have established. This is why those who practice sustained affirmation and visualization often seem to attract opportunities out of nowhere. The opportunities were always there. The alignment simply made them visible. Another dimension of aligning thoughts and speech with faith involves gratitude. Gratitude is both a thought pattern and a spoken expression that cements your faith in the reality of your desires. When you think and say, "Thank you," for something before it appears, you are affirming its existence in the unseen. This shifts your vibration from wanting to having, which accelerates the manifestation process. Gratitude also lifts your mood, and a lifted mood is magnetic. People, ideas, and resources naturally gravitate toward those whose energy radiates assurance and appreciation. Speaking gratitude aloud for even the smallest blessings in your life trains your subconscious to expect more, and expecting more is an act of faith. Patience is another essential quality. When you align your thoughts and speech with unwavering faith, you release the need to control the timing or the method of your manifestation. This surrender allows the universal intelligence to work through the most efficient channels. Impatience signals doubt, while patience signals trust. By repeatedly affirming your good and maintaining your mental image without needing to see instant proof, you deepen your faith. This deepened faith amplifies the power of your words and thoughts, which in turn accelerates the arrival of your desire. Paradoxically, the less you strain, the faster it comes, because your energy remains clear and receptive rather than tense and resistant. Repetition is also key. Just as a river carves through rock over time, repeated thoughts and speech carve new channels in your subconscious mind. Each time you affirm your desire with faith, you reinforce the new pattern. Each time you catch yourself in doubt and replace it with a faith-filled thought, you strengthen the new habit. This process transforms you from someone who occasionally believes into someone whose default state is belief. When that happens, your words become commands to the universe, rather than mere requests. Commands spoken from a consciousness of certainty carry immense creative power. It is also helpful to surround yourself with an environment that supports your faith. This includes people, media, and activities that uplift your vibration rather than drain it. If you immerse yourself in negative conversations, pessimistic news, or doubtful company, your own alignment will weaken. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with affirming influences will make it easier to keep your thoughts and speech aligned with faith. Faith grows stronger in an atmosphere of possibility, and your environment can either nourish or choke your mental garden. Being deliberate about your environment is an extension of being deliberate about your thoughts and words. Affirmations, when crafted carefully, are tools to maintain this alignment. An affirmation is more than a positive statement. It is a declaration of truth from the invisible realm. Speaking affirmations with feeling, especially when paired with visualization and gratitude, anchors them into your subconscious. Over time, they become automatic thoughts rather than conscious efforts, which is the ultimate goal. When your affirmations have become your natural inner dialogue, your speech flows effortlessly from faith, and your reality adjusts accordingly. Another subtle but powerful practice is to monitor not only your words but your tone and energy. The universe responds to vibration, not just vocabulary. Saying, "I am wealthy," in a tone of frustration or desperation does not carry the same creative power as saying it with serenity and assurance. Your tone, inflection, and emotional state communicate your true belief more than the words themselves. By cultivating calm confidence as you speak, you amplify the effectiveness of your words and demonstrate your alignment with faith. Finally, aligning thoughts and speech with unwavering faith involves a deep trust in your own creative power. Many people unknowingly sabotage their desires because they do not believe they are worthy or capable of receiving them. Faith is not only faith in the universe, but faith in yourself as a vessel of divine expression. When you accept that you are worthy, that you are capable, and that you are connected to an infinite source, your words naturally flow from a place of authority rather than pleading. This authority magnifies the impact of your speech and accelerates the unfolding of your desires. By maintaining a clear mental picture, speaking only words of certainty, feeling gratitude as though your desire is already fulfilled, and patiently trusting the process, you weave together thought and speech into a unified force that the universe cannot deny. This unity is the difference between wishing and creating, between hoping and knowing. When your inner and outer expressions match in vibration and intent, the power released is extraordinary. Your life begins to mirror the images and words you have consistently entertained, and what once seemed impossible begins to unfold as a natural consequence of your aligned consciousness. Claiming and affirming prosperity as already yours, to manifest it into reality, is an act of stepping into your true creative authority and recognizing that abundance is not something outside of you waiting to be acquired, but something within you waiting to be expressed. The moment you claim prosperity as your natural state, you stop chasing it and start embodying it. This shift in consciousness is the bridge between wanting and having, between hoping and knowing. Affirmations of prosperity are not wishes, they are declarations of truth from the invisible realm. By speaking as though you already have what you desire, you impress your subconscious mind with a new pattern, and your subconscious in turn directs your actions, perceptions, and opportunities to match that pattern. This is how manifestation becomes inevitable, not accidental. The universe mirrors back the energy you radiate, and nothing radiates confidence more than the steady affirmation that your good is already here. This practice begins with a willingness to see yourself differently. If you have been conditioned to believe in lack, limitation, or unworthiness, claiming prosperity may initially feel false or uncomfortable. But this is only because your subconscious is accustomed to an old pattern. Every time you affirm, "I am prosperous," "I am wealthy," "I am abundant," you are introducing a new blueprint to the subconscious. Repetition, feeling, and conviction gradually replace the old programming with a new one. Over time, your mind accepts the affirmation as reality, and your outer world reorganizes itself to reflect this inner change. This is why many people who consistently affirm their good eventually experience seemingly miraculous shifts in their circumstances. The shift is not luck. It is law responding to a new inner state. When you claim prosperity, you are also invoking a universal principle. You cannot receive what you do not believe you are worthy of. Belief in worthiness opens the channel, while doubt closes it. Affirming prosperity as already yours bypasses the mental debate about worthiness by anchoring you in a higher truth. The truth that you are an expression of infinite intelligence, and therefore entitled to infinite supply. You are not asking for charity from the universe, you are claiming your inheritance as a spiritual being. This change in self-perception radiates through your energy field, affecting the way people respond to you, the decisions you make, and the synchronicities that unfold in your life. You begin to act as someone who already has, rather than someone who is waiting to have, and the outer world adjusts accordingly. Claiming prosperity also activates gratitude in advance. which is one of the highest states of consciousness you can embody. When you affirm your abundance and feel thankful for it now, you signal to the universe that you are already in possession of it. This moves you out of the vibration of wanting and into the vibration of having. The vibration of having is magnetic, it draws more of the same. The vibration of wanting, by contrast, often pushes the desired thing away, because it emphasizes its absence. This is why so many manifestation practices emphasize acting as if or feeling as though your desire is already fulfilled. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. By feeling it now, you call it forth sooner. Words are your tools in this process, but the feeling behind them is the electricity that powers the tool. When you say, "I am abundant," with doubt or sarcasm, you are merely reciting syllables. When you say it with conviction, joy, and expectation, you are shaping energy. This is why affirmations should be spoken slowly, deliberately, and with full attention. As you speak, see in your mind's eye what abundance looks like, sounds like, feels like. Fill in the sensory details so that your inner experience becomes so real that the outer experience cannot help but match it. Over time, the line between your inner and outer reality begins to blur, and manifestations seem to flow with increasing ease and speed. Another key aspect of claiming prosperity is consistency. It is not enough to affirm abundance once or twice, and then revert to speaking lack. Each time you contradict your affirmation with words of doubt, you weaken the energetic structure you are building. The subconscious mind responds to dominant thoughts and feelings, not occasional ones. That is why it is essential to maintain a steady practice of affirming prosperity. This could be through morning rituals, writing affirmations in a journal, repeating them during meditation, or simply speaking them aloud throughout the day. Whenever you notice your thoughts drifting toward lack, each repetition is a brick in the structure of your new reality. As you continue this practice, your behavior will naturally begin to align with your affirmations. You will find yourself making choices that reflect confidence and abundance rather than fear and scarcity. You might take inspired action on an idea, reach out to someone you previously hesitated to contact, or notice an opportunity you would have overlooked before. This is the subconscious mind at work, guiding you to act in ways that align with your new self-concept. Manifestation is rarely passive, it involves a dance between inner alignment and outer action. When you claim prosperity, you position yourself to recognize and act upon the avenues through which it can flow. This practice also helps you break free from the collective consciousness of scarcity that permeates society. Much of the world's language around money and success is rooted in fear. Fear of loss, fear of competition, fear of not enough. By claiming prosperity as already yours, you step out of this collective fear and into a higher vibration where you see abundance everywhere. You begin to perceive opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to feel safe and supported where others feel anxious and insecure. This shift in perception is itself a form of wealth, because it allows you to navigate life with clarity and confidence. The outer wealth that follows is a reflection of this inner wealth. Claiming prosperity also requires that you release old stories about who you are and what is possible for you. Many people unconsciously define themselves by past failures, family beliefs, or societal limitations. But when you affirm abundance as your current and eternal state, you rewrite your self-story. You are no longer the person who can't, or hasn't, or isn't. You are the person who is, who does, who has. This new story sends out a new vibrational signal, which attracts new experiences that validate it. Over time, the old story fades, and the new story becomes your lived reality. Generosity is another powerful amplifier of this practice. When you give from a place of knowing that you are already abundant, you reinforce your own affirmation. Giving becomes a statement to the universe that your supply is limitless, that you have more than enough to share. This act of generosity aligns you even more deeply with the vibration of abundance and opens the flow of more to you. It is not the amount you give but the consciousness behind the giving that matters. Even small acts of generosity done with joy and certainty strengthen your prosperity mindset and magnetize more good to you. Visual reminders can also support your affirmations. Symbols of abundance placed in your environment, such as uplifting artwork, inspiring words, or physical objects that represent your goals, serve as anchors for your new self-concept. Each time you see them, you are reminded of your claim. This keeps your vibration steady and helps counteract any external influences that might pull you back into doubt or fear. Over time, your environment becomes an extension of your inner wealth, and together they create a powerful field of manifestation. Patience and trust are essential companions to this process. Claiming and affirming prosperity does not mean forcing it to appear on your timeline. It means trusting that it is already on its way and allowing it to arrive through the best channels at the right time. Impatience signals doubt, while calm expectancy signals faith. By holding your affirmations steadily without needing instant proof, you allow the unseen forces to arrange everything perfectly. This trust keeps your energy open and receptive, which accelerates manifestation rather than slowing it down. Ultimately, claiming and affirming prosperity as already yours is about identity. It is about stepping into the truth of who you are. A creator, a channel for infinite supply, a being whose word has power. When you truly accept this identity, your speech, thoughts, feelings, and actions all shift to reflect it. You no longer look to external conditions to tell you who you are or what you can have. Instead, you declare who you are, and watch the outer world rearrange itself to match. This is the essence of manifestation, and the key to experiencing prosperity in every area of your life.